Want to know what a real man would tell their lady about love and life? You're in the right place. This is Hello Ladies with Rom Wills. Rom Wills is a speaker and author of several books on relationships. Grab some wine, sit back, and enjoy.
Hello, ladies. Welcome to my spot. Men have certain criteria for wives. And you know what? I want to just be clear for that. I wanted to be clear. A lot of times, women don't really get that what they need to be a man's wife. Now, of course, you got groups out there now who work on trying to make a woman into a man's wife. A lot of women like femininity groups, or you got they got women who want to try to become more feminine, or what they think will be feminine. Personally, I call them fake femininity groups, but that's another podcast. But or they tend to be filled with women who might have focused more on the business aspect. They got their degrees and all of that. They got a little bit more going on. They got their six figures, all of that, right? And, so that's a big thing now. It's like, how can we be a wife? In fact, I read a comment about me. It was about on Facebook, because someone was saying I'm not really promoting marriage and everything, right? But see, here's the issue with that. Now, yes, we can talk in general terms about what a man looking for, but to understand something, every single man has a certain criteria for the woman he would consider to be a wife or wifey material. Every single man. And see, here's the issue. It ain't the same. Like, a lot of women will do some general stuff, but they don't realize they ain't doing it for the man. Like, I don't want to put somebody's personal stuff out there, so I ain't going to say that. But, they might feel like, hey, if they do this, that, and a third, it could be, at least pretend like they submissive to a man, right? At least pretend like they submissive to a man. Or, allow him to spend all his money on them or something. Or they try to learn how to cook or something like that. Those are pretty, in general, those pretty good. But the thing is this, and this is just a reality. Ultimately, every single man has a different criteria for what they're actually looking for. That's the key thing. See, understand something. In my I wrote a little small booklet for the ladies. It was called Finding the Right Man. And I said men generally look at women three different ways. Now, there is the friend thing, where they put you in a friend zone. And usually that's not a good thing if a man puts you in a friend zone, because let's just be real with men. Most men can have sex with whatever woman is reasonably attractive in their proximity, in their zone, reasonably attractive. So if a man puts you in a friend zone, he ain't attracted to you. And there's a lot of women, the man ain't trying to holler at him, he's just not physically attracted. Right? And that's, like I say, that's a general thing. But then there's another criteria, the booty call, the sex partner. And a lot of women get into that criteria with most men. Like, a man ain't going to look at you as like that, that wifey material. And see, here's the thing with the whole sex partner thing. A lot of women don't get this part. We can be a sex partner with a woman forever. He could keep her he could call her his girlfriend, even introduce her to like certain people, maybe even a family occasionally, and she'll never be his wife. Never be his wife. She's just a favorite sex partner. Like, no matter what she do. Like I say, even in cases where he introduced her, he could still be it, and that's introduce her to his family. She could still be just the sex partner to him. And he'll still be cool with it. He'll stay with it for years. He'll stay with her for years, and she's just a steady sex partner. You know? He might be cheating, or he might not. He might just say, it's good to be a sex partner. He ain't trying to marry her. But then there's the Miss Right thing, and that's usually a combination of both. Yeah, the sex is there, but it's good for a friend. But then those are just general things. Understand, every single man has something different they're looking for. Like some men might not necessarily, he might not necessarily want a woman who's like super submissive. Yeah. Now people can call him a simp or whatever, but he might be that type. You say, nah, for what I do, I need a woman who got a little drive in her, a little pepper, or little bossy, maybe a little bossy. And then another guy might be like, well, nah, she gotta be that type of woman. Like if I want to just chill out and do some other shit, she ain't gonna bother me about it. And like that example, like some guys for whatever reason, yeah, they might want to, come home, deal with the woman occasionally, and have sex with her. But at the same time, he want to go do his travel and everything. He need that woman to be peaceful with it. Understand that. I mean, it could be anything. He might need that woman who just who just simply look good when he doing public things. It's different criteria. So what happens with that is understanding that is meaning every single man that you deal with, you got to see where you really stand with them and what your natural traits are. So here's a funny thing. Every single woman got natural traits. Yeah, you got some women who are a little bit more controlling, a little bit more bossy. And like I said, there's some men who will deal with that to an extent. But then you got some other women, they the type, they good for appearances and stuff. And some men will deal with that. Or some women who sometimes they're going to be real engaged with a man and then, boom. And then, some men might want that woman who may be a bit clingy. Some might want that. Yeah, that might be his criteria. He want a woman he knows she going to be there no matter what. She a little bit clingy, doing all that stuff. But he might be cool with it. But then again, the same trait. All those other traits going to get on somebody's nerves. You might be clingy with one man. Then the other, he good with it. The next man, he's like, man, get out my face. She too clingy. He want that woman like kind of do her own thing sometime. Or even a controlling woman. They get on there's a small percentage of dudes who can deal with that. They cool. Usually the type who can deal with it is a guy who just learned how to put up with a lot of shit, or a guy who, sometimes he can be engaged with, sometimes not. Because usually if she get controlling or something, he just say, nah, I'll just let you do your thing until you start acting right. And he good with it. Everybody got something different. So every single one. So if you thinking in terms of being a wife, ultimately, well, first thing you got to say, who you dealing with, what men you dealing with. And can he who am I clicking with personality naturally, not forcing it? Because what's happening with a lot of women are trying to force some things when they don't know, which goes against them. Who do you click with, who you don't? Who the guys you can actually deal with. And then all of a sudden you'll find out, oh, this is the guy who might think more in terms of taking you as a wife. Let all the fake stuff go, because it don't help. Because the problem with the fake stuff is it doesn't affect you on a personality level. See, despite what people think about men, we pay a lot more attention to that. And especially nowadays, because a lot of men are getting screwed over in divorce courts, family courts and everything. And then, y'all see it right here on YouTube. We talking about this more. We thinking about it more. So, the best thing a woman could do is be her natural self, as natural as possible, and then find a man who clicks with that instead of trying to force something. Because we're going to have our criteria anyway, whether or not we share it with y'all. Like I remember I read in this magazine now, a woman though, it was something where women were checking out, the super fine guys and everything. And they were wondering why this one guy who was very attractive, who dealt with beautiful women, end up marrying like kind of a plain Jane. They couldn't figure it out. Like all these women he had dated, they were crying. He married a plain Jane. It's like, what did she do? That's probably what he wanted. That was his criteria. So always keep that in mind, ladies. Always keep all those things in mind. So anyway, I'll get back with y'all. Peace and many blessings.